Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. We've got a beer here from Against the Grain, and they're out of Louisville, Kentucky, in the States. It's a collaboration with Forward Hops, which is a distribution company that brings a lot of the beers from the US to Australia. I thought that's pretty cool. And one of their flagship beers is CITRA Arse Down. So they've called this one CITRA Arse Down Under. And I thought that's awesome. Why? They've got the old mate on the front with the kangaroo. Pretty cool. And I've even got, because I've had a lot of beers through Forward Hops, I've even got their proper glassware. So, yeah, my glassware collection is nuts. Just the fact that I've even got something like this. So, yeah, I was at a tap takeover and they had this. This was one of the beers they had there. One of my mates come up to me and he said, out of all the beers, like it was heaps of American hype stuff, he reckoned this was the best thing they had out of about 20 beers on tap. And I just went up to the bar to order it, and the keg had just finished. So thankfully, I got a can of it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like more old school American than your hazy. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, all I know is that it's got Australian hops in it, which gives it the whole down under and forward hops sort of collab thing. So it's like they've gone with the flagship beer, but with the twist with Aussie hops. And it was Allah and Eclipse. And yeah, I really enjoy the Eclipse hop. It's one of my favorites. So let's see how it goes. We'll pour into the Forward Hops glass. And yeah, I've had Against the Grain CITRA Arse Down plenty of times, but just not recently. It was always a pretty decent beer. Yeah, it's definitely American IPA style. Looks good in the glass. It's got that old school Westie style look to it. So yeah, it's sort of like in between like orange and amber. Relatively clean and clear. One finger head. Carbonation looks pretty light. I would say about a medium body. But yeah, it's definitely got that look about it, like it's going to have that caramel backbone, which I do enjoy in a Westie. So yeah, let's go in for a whiff. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. And cheers, Dan. Good to see you, brother. Hope all's well. Massive citrus. Like huge, huge citrus. I'm getting orange, mandarin, grapefruit. I'm getting sweetness and pithiness, which is exactly what I want. There's a touch of pine there, some grassiness. It smells so good. It's got that candied orange sort of smell, like sherbety. There might also be a touch of like stone fruit, like apricot. It's got that jammy sort of smell. Mmm. So yeah, the mate that like had this at the bar, he rated it highly, and I was like, "That's good," like because it's one of those beers. It's only sort of got average ratings, but when he sort of hypes something up, he's got a similar palate to me. So I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this one. I'm going in. Cheers. Oh, cheers, Bumpy. Good to see you, brother. Haven't seen you for a while, mate. I miss having a beer with you, dude. We will catch up this week sometime. Cheers, Angie. Get it in ya! It's got some good bitterness. Definitely a citrus bomb. Yeah, it's like huge grapefruit, orange, mandarin. It's got like pithiness from the grapefruit, and then you get sweetness from the orange and the mandarin. And you get like this sort of like, it's not dank, but sort of like wet grass, like pine, almost like that evergreen sort of foresty characteristic. The Eclipse hop is so good for like citrus. I love it. The backbone, definitely caramel and toffee, maybe slightly biscuity. I'm not really getting a grainy note or maybe a touch bready, but it comes across more sort of toffee biscuity, like old school Westy. Percentage, I forgot to check. 8.2. Ooh. I didn't realise it was that high. That's the can artwork. Hang on. Looks so cool. So yeah, forward hops, which is those guys. Just the blue circle with the hop logo. They're pretty much known for getting most of the hyped US stuff to Australia. And I think it's two guys that work for them. Yeah, and they just, I don't know, they do a really good job, especially like some of the bars, like my favourite bar, Carwin Cellars in Melbourne. They're always doing like events, and that's how I've got stuff like Side Project and Bottle Logic and all those hype names, like through those guys. So I feel like I owe a fair bit of my beer experiences to them. Like that, I sort of look at what they do and I feel like that would be an awesome job for me. Like I'd love to do that sort of thing. But anyway, let's get back to the beer. I've got a dog behind me that's driving me absolutely nuts. Just won't sit still. I feel like just the flavors I'm getting, it's like the color of my hat. I'm just getting this huge citrus, all the orange fruits, just woof. And yeah, you're getting bitterness and pithiness from like the grapefruit and the pine, and then yeah, like this sweet sort of candy sherbety thing going on from the orange and the mandarin. And there's a touch of apricot, sort of got that like marmalade vibe. But yeah, really good beer. Like from what I remember of Citra Arse Down, I feel like this is like little buddy. I don't know what's going on with him. Anyway, I feel like I feel like this is an improved version of the OG. Sometimes when they play around with the OG, it's like, oh, it's never as good. But yeah, this is actually very nice. Characteristics of Ella are normally like, I think Ella's generally quite floral. But I think in a Westie, I feel like the Eclipse is probably going to shine a bit more. Yeah, very nice. One thing I do love with Against the Grain as well, I feel like they've got a good relationship with Australia. They've done like a few collabs and they've like used names where Aussies can relate to and Americans wouldn't have a clue. Like one in particular, they did a stout called "We're Not Here to Fornicate with Arachnids," and it's like it was a bit of a play on words because in Australia we say we're not here to fuck with spiders. I thought that's brilliant. That is one of the best beer names I've ever seen. But yeah, score wise for this bad boy, I rate it. I rate it pretty high. I'm going to say about a 4.4 out of 5, which just for a straight like Westie style, I think that's like very, very generous. So they've done a good job. I don't know how much input Forward Hops had into the beer, whether they, I don't know, said what hops they should use, being two Aussie hops, or yeah, who knows? But no, it's really well done. Good old Eclipse, very underrated. I hope that wherever the Eclipse hop farms are, I hope they really flourish, and then all of a sudden you start seeing Eclipse getting used heaps because yeah, I feel like it's a very very good hop. And yeah, 8%. I would say it drinks probably lighter, but just after drinking that quite quickly, it's taken effect. So yeah, Against the Grain, they've been around for a while. Louisville, Kentucky, which is pretty cool, like a little bit different. I don't know what the scene's like in Kentucky. I feel like the craft beer scene there wouldn't be as strong as most states, but yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, good to see them doing collabs and like getting out there globally. So yeah, what did I give it? 4.4 out of 5. But yeah, from these guys, I reckon they're all, like their old school IPAs like this are really nice, and their stouts. Get into some of their stouts; they're really good. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for chiming in. Cheers.